I know last episode we talked a little bit about some music videos. I thought it would be only be fitting to start this one talking about a new music video that an artist that's been around forever, legendary Hall of Fame artist Jay-Z, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody's gonna tell you that Jay-Z doesn't know what he's doing, isn't talented.
God level. That's God MC.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that he does besides rapping is he's an entrepreneur.
Right.
He's trying to build his own wealth for his family. Something that they can pass down. And one of the things that we always talk about on here is building wealth for Black people, and he's doing it. He had a new video and song called Entrepreneur that
we
just came
watched
out.
It together.
We just watched the video, had some little live reactions there. But I thought it was a good thing to talk about because there's a little bit of backlash based on a couple of the quotes that were in there. He's talking about being an entrepreneur. He's talking about supporting Black businesses. If you see the music video, it's kind of all about Black-owned businesses and how people were doing things the right way and trying to create wealth. And one of the lines he said was to the effect of, "You should support FUBU instead of Gucci. So for every one Gucci that you're supporting, you should be supporting 2 FUBUs."
Yep.
And he got a little bit of fire for that.
Well, I think that and the line directed towards Black Twitter. I think Black Twitter took a little offense.
When Jack get paid, do you?
Exactly, precisely. Which is a valid question. I know people don't want to hear that. I'm all about Black Twitter. I love what Black Twitter can provide. It can provide a little uplifting when you need it. It can provide a little shade when you need it, a little comedy and humor. But I wasn't really understanding why they were so offended by the Black Twitter line, because it's a valid question if you look at it completely pragmatically, right? Like, do we have any ownership in Twitter? None.
That's a money word. Pragmatic. I just want to give you a process.
But I'm just saying, like, we don't have any ownership in Twitter. Like, where's the Black Twitter at? So I understand what he was saying from that perspective. Black Twitter shouldn't take it personally, because I don't think he was saying that Black Twitter itself is a bad thing, but he was thinking more from the entrepreneurial standpoint.
So what was the line? What was the line that he said about Black Twitter, and what was he trying to say there?
He said Black Twitter, what's that?
Yeah.
When Jack get paid, do you?
Okay.
Essentially saying Black Twitter is a myth. Like,
there is no
Black Twitter. Like, we don't own.
So where you at? The next entrepreneur for Black Twitter. We need to see you.
That's all he's saying. I mean, he probably struck a nerve with some people because,
if you're part of that cohort, and we all are.
Jay's won too much for niggas. Like, if you really, people are very sensitive to any and everything Jay does. Like the whole NFL deal, people were quick to jump on it before even seeing, what he was going to do with it. Like, what his ultimate plan was. Like, they critique his lines and his every single bar a different way than the average rapper. So like I said, they're looking for anything to be mad at him about. But in this case, there's nothing to be mad at. Like like you said, what he was saying was completely accurate.
Factual.
Yeah, we don't own Black. Like, we coined it Black Twitter and owning it as if it's ours, or we have equity in it and we don't. So
but Black Twitter is just another example that the Black culture moves the American culture overall. So if anything, we should look at that as inspiration and say.
And that's the thing, right? Is like blackness moves the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we set the tone for a lot of stuff.
Facts.
But when it comes to ownership, we don't own a lot of stuff.
We don't own it.
And it's a hard pill to swallow, a hard thing to sit with. But I think that's the power of what Jay is saying, is sit with that. And then when you watch the video and you see, I think there's also, like, when you get on, it's easy to get on Black Twitter or get on Twitter or any social media handle and have an opinion about something. It's harder to do the work. Like, to go take that risk, jump off that cliff, go after your dream. And it's like, at some point, while I find Black Twitter entertaining, the Shade Room on IG entertaining, toxic at times for sure. But, are we doing the work? Are we taking that leap?
Right.
That's what I took from it.
And then the other line, about Gucci and FUBU.
That's just fact. Okay. We need to support Black businesses.
Right. I think the critique is that Jay for years has been touting, Tom Ford, all these white labels, Black Label, Polo, like, and then all of a sudden, people feel some type of way. Yeah, Hermes, like, that's Paris, France, whatever. Like, but I mean, to me, like, are people allowed to evolve at some point?
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
That's where, I'm never, if you tell me that you were one thing at this point and you became another thing at this point, and that thing that you became is better, that's a positive to me, right? Like, growth is always a positive to me. Now, some people got a lot of growing to do. Some people, you started so low that when you grow, you still a grimy dude. But, like, to tell me that Jay-Z hasn't evolved as a person in 20 years, or we're going to get mad at him because he's evolved as a person and maybe he didn't support something then, but he's supporting something now. If you're telling me the right message now, I'm not going to give you, there's not going to be backlash from me for what the message you're saying right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, people evolve, people grow, and we're in different times now. Like, just period. There was a certain point where we all indulged in designer brands and things that we may think twice about indulging in now. I mean, it just is what it is. Don't let that block you from the message he's trying to get to you right now, which is the main thing. Like, support Black businesses.
Absolutely,
Let's
yeah.
create
The Good Citizens Podcast.